Hey, I hope you're doing well because my life has been a bit chaotic lately ever since school started, or my spring semester of college more specifically. On the first week, I was assigned basically a paper or this like four-part assignment where I have to write four paragraphs, more than seven sentences, analyzing a text, and but I have to do that four separate times. Like, whoa, that's a freaking chapter book. I had to return to myself in a way because I remember back in grade school, I used to love English, language arts, humanities in general, as far as history goes, and I would never have an issue writing a paper under pressure. But today, like, it was literal hell. And it made me kind of like, I had to like go back to my roots in high school because I feel like, in my opinion, high school was a lot more harder than college, or at least most aspects of high school was a lot harder than college, at least for me. So I feel like I mostly came to college prepared. On the flip side, I feel like because I've been so comfortable that I have been suffering from the lack of willpower. So whenever I am challenged, like it gets pretty difficult, which raises the question, how do you build willpower? I feel like this question, I don't know if this is something that I can answer generally, but I do know like for me, this does work. It's gonna sound very simple, but it's probably the hardest thing you're ever going to do. You have to commit to doing something hard every day. Not anything regular or comfortable as far as committing to your long-term goals. Like, I guess that's a bonus. Like, if committing to your goals on a day-to-day basis, if that's hard for you, then like that could be your thing. But like for me, what always helped me build willpower in high school was I would do something hard every day. Originally, that something hard was waking up at 5 a.m. every day because back then I used to run cross country. But now that I'm so used to, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every day for years. So it's nothing to me now. For a lot of people, that's very hard. But like after a while, when it becomes second nature, you're just going to be ready to do more and more work, more and more, and go farther with all of your goals in general on a day-to-day basis. For example, my something hard for the day, at least today, was completing those assignments because usually what I try to do every semester is I complete all my work early, at least 3 days before the due date. And it's hard, but it's doable if you can manage your time correctly. And it does take a lot of willpower. And I never really had an issue with it as far as like math and science goes, but I'm taking my first English class in like I don't even know how long, and it's difficult. Like I feel like this takes a lot of willpower and determination. I do want to say that I do give myself some grace because outside of journaling, I don't really do much writing. And then when I do write, it's in Spanish, it's not even in English. So it really has been years since I've written a paper, at least outside of the context of science in general. And I feel like that is one very important aspect of cultivating willpower. Um, Not just committing to doing something difficult every day, but just the mere fact of being consistent with that thing on a day-to-day basis, as well as being compassionate. You have to be compassionate with yourself. It's very easy to beat yourself up for not being as productive as you think you should be, especially in our hyper capitalistic American culture. But if you can commit to doing something difficult every day, especially if it is pertaining to your long term goals, I promise you, you will thank yourself and you won't regret it. The final aspect and the most important aspect of building willpower is maintaining a routine and being as efficient as possible. For example, I wake up at the same time every day. I feel like I'm always a big advocate of waking up at the same time every day, whether it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever your sweet spot is. Waking up at the same time every day and giving your life purpose as to things you need to do, things you want to do, and reach for, it will change your life. With my routine in particular, I keep it real simple. I wake up, brush my teeth, splash some water on my face, get dressed, and just go straight to school or work or whatever. And then once I get to my destination, I'll probably study or do some flashcards before I either clock in or I go into class or whatever. During the evening, that's when I do my more like strenuous, more like longer like routine, more important stuff like showering, doing a deep clean, washing my face, meditating, stretching, getting setting up my clothes for the next day, making sure I have the smoothest morning possible. And it's a lot, but I promise you it's worth it. Because maintaining a routine is essential into developing willpower. If you cannot maintain a routine, then how are you going to be able to commit to anything in your life? If you're not waking up at the same time every day, how are you going to be able to predict that you'll be able to commit to anything if you can't commit to something just that simple? It seems simple. Maybe it's not as simple for other people as it is for me, and especially as I understand that some people have children and whatnot. For anyone that doesn't have very many responsibilities, if it's doable and if there's a will, I promise you there's a way. And I think that should be the first step, cultivating willpower more than anything over everything I just said. Just start simple. Just start right there. Wake up at the same time every day and then start doing something hard every day. I hope that helps because I think that's all I have to say for this video actually. With that being said, you have a good night.